All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our 2023 State of the City. The format tonight will start with me giving some general updates on a lot of things happening here in the city, and then we will move on to our department heads, the real experts of the city, to come up and also talk a little bit more about what they've been working on the last year. And then after that, we'll jump back into some question and answer, and I will come up and take the questions, and then I'll probably need some assist on some of the answers, but we will figure that out depending on what the question is when that time comes. So we have a lot to cover, so let's jump right into it. Boom. Okay, so we're going to start with our low for the North Kansas City community in the last year. North Kansas City officer Daniel Vasquez was killed in the line of duty while performing a car stop in a neighborhood. Officer Vasquez proudly and bravely served the North Kansas City community for almost 2 years. As Chief Freeman previously stated, Daniel was a shining star in our organization. I want to thank the North Kansas City community for your support during this tough time for our community, and also thank you for your support as we begin this long journey for justice for Officer Vasquez. All right, next up, North Kansas City continues to change. We have many new people and many new businesses that have recently called North Kansas City home. Over the last few years, we've focused on channeling our investments in our infrastructure and preparing for our future. Our investments, one of the investments I want to touch on at least is our water treatment plant. Our 100-year-old water treatment plant has been undergoing a $15 million renovation and expected to wrap up sometime around summer. The project will result in a more modern and efficient water treatment plant and is a major investment in the future of our community. Stay tuned for updates as we get closer to completion, hopefully in the next couple months. All right, several months ago, the downtown streetscape project finished. This work was part of a $4 million reinvestment in our downtown neighborhood. This reinvestment will provide a safe and attractive downtown streetscape for businesses and visitors for many years to come. And I want to throw a couple more items on this slide. One is a thank you to our downtown businesses. Our downtown businesses suffered through many months of rotating parking closures and narrowing of the walkways in front of their businesses. So I want to thank them for their patience during this project, because without them, our community wouldn't be what it is. And also, unfortunately, I got to touch on trees, which can be a hot topic. Unfortunately, due to the small wells that were previously in place, we had to remove all the wells on those trees, or remove all the trees to do the small wells. The positive is we replaced it with some 4-inch caliper trees as well as larger wells, hopefully giving the trees the opportunity to grow to their full maturity this time. All right, the Armour Road Complete Street Project. The delineators are finally gone, which would be good news for a lot of people that absolutely hated the delineators. And in its place, we have a couple new things. We have curb islands and we have low walls. The Armour Road Complete Street Project also included other intersection and crosswalk improvements, beautification, and increased safety for drivers, pedestrians, and cyclists all along Armour Road. The project has a few minor items left, and then we should be ready to celebrate its completion in the next month. All right, Ride KC electric assist bikes. Recently, we got 30 new electric assist bikes delivered in North Kansas City, replacing our classic pedal bikes. The e-bikes feature electric motors that will give riders a boost when they engage the pedals and solid tires that never go flat. The new e-bikes allow users to use the built-in lock to secure bikes at existing Ride KC bike hubs or publicly available bike racks within the Ride KC bike service network. We are in the second year of the Minor Home Repair and Modification Program, which is a partnership with Northland Neighbors Incorporated and Rebuilding Together Kansas City. This program assists homeowners who do not have the financial means to respond to code violations and or modify their homes to accommodate mobility and access needs. Last year, 11 NKC residents' homes were modified and repaired, and that was the program's first year. If you or someone you know could benefit from a program like this, I encourage you to reach out to our community development department, and Shu Wood will be up later too, and she can more accurately tell you how to get a hold of the department for this program. Another program we launched in the last couple years was the NKC YMCA Resident Subsidy. It's actually the YMCA Healthy Residence Program that offers a special city subsidized membership rate to the NKC YMCA. This program offers residents a monthly rate of $35 a month for individuals and $70 a month for families, along with other multiple benefits. There's no joining fee, the first month is free, and there's no early cancellation fees. The NKC School District Partnership. A large priority for me has really been partnering with a lot of our local organizations, and that includes our local school district. Over the last 2 years, we've grown the relationship with the school district, and I believe we're at a really good place with the district. City Hall has hosted several NKC schools and our staff is continuously up here speaking with students about career opportunities in local government, and beyond that, just what it is we do as a local government. So it's been very exciting to have kids always up at City Hall, and to also see our staff, such as Cam, who is continuously working with students here at the high school. The NKC Citizens Academy. In order to be a successful and thriving community, we need to invest in our physical environment and those that live and work in our city. The new Citizens Academy allows residents to learn how their local government works and how to get involved as a board or commission member. This 9-week program was designed to train and inspire future leaders in our community. The second class of the Citizens Academy recently graduated, and we're excited to announce that registration begins for the third class on April 20th. Business engagement. Another priority for me has been business engagement. North Kansas City is fortunate to be home to around 1,000 businesses of all sizes. I've held several small business roundtables, and I'm always holding meetings with many NKC businesses, business groups, and other stakeholders. We strive to ensure that North Kansas City continues to be a home to a thriving business community. And we're always looking for ways to make working with the city easier, and in years ahead, you will continue to see improvements in the way you can work with the city. A lot of new developments going on. So there's been a lot of interest in North Kansas City over the last several years, and you've seen that with all the new developments in North Kansas City. Opened last year, the Gallery Lofts is a multifamily development with 33 of its 49 units set aside for affordable housing. It also features a ground floor gallery and artist studio space. We also have the Oxbow. The Oxbow has 208 market rate apartments with amenities such as the rooftop deck and pool. This was a $50 million investment, and new NKC residents are currently moving in now. I believe they have 1, possibly 2 floors open, and additional floors will be opening in the coming weeks. 23rd and Swift will feature 294 units with a pool, outdoor activity space, secure on-site parking, and a clubhouse. The project is under construction and expected to be completed this year. We have Bloom NKC. This is the last remaining undeveloped parcel in the Northgate Village. And it'll soon be a owner-occupied townhome. Well, it'll soon feature owner-occupied townhomes with first-floor commercial space, creating a unique space that complements live, work, lifestyles. The site will, in addition to that, the site will also feature apartments as well as additional commercial spaces for lease. And that project is expected to begin this summer. There we go, this summer. Okay, the One North redevelopment project. This was first identified as a redevelopment opportunity over 20 years ago, and since last year, we have some new updates for you. We'll start with the roughest and work our way up here. It's been clear to many of you that this project just isn't moving at the speed that we wanted or agreed to, and you are correct. It has not been. This has been very frustrating. I know it's been a priority for so many of you, and the city continues to work diligently to make this reality, and we will have more comments on this soon. The Middle House Apartments development features 272 units. It has multiple amenities, including a pool, clubhouse, and private dog park, and that is currently under construction. Then we have the Genesis Health Club sand volleyball and surfing restaurant. This is slated to be a 70,000 square foot Genesis Health Club featuring sand volleyball and a surfing restaurant. This project is in the final stages of design and should be under construction in the summer of 2023. After those two projects now I missed myself up here. After those projects, we have 2 lots remaining. One or possibly both are likely to be restaurant sites. All right, next up, we got River Forest Park. So last year, the City Council and Parks Board agreed to work jointly on a park feasibility study to examine possible improvements to River Forest Park. This study explores conceptual designs of park improvements and trails, technical considerations, cost estimates, and phasing plans for identified improvements. After a robust public engagement process, the City Council and Parks Board agreed to proceed with the project. Oh, I'm a tapper. It's very loud in the mic. We're currently pursuing grant funding for this new park and are beginning the next steps of design and engineering for this project. And I'll try not to tap. There we go. The North Rail Streetcar Feasibility Study. So the Kansas City Streetcar Authority, the City of North Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City Area Transportation Authority, in cooperation with the Missouri Department of Transportation and the City of Kansas City, Missouri, are in the process of studying the feasibility of a streetcar extension over the Missouri River. This study will identify preferred river crossings, alignment, and stop locations. The study also includes financial analysis, including capital and operating cost, funding sources, and possible federal grant opportunities. And one question will probably be, where does this stand? Currently, what is going on with this is the Streetcar Authority has authorized additional analysis on that plan, and that is currently ongoing. So we are waiting on the final results of the additional analysis. And we have the Burlington Corridor. This is a major gateway into North Kansas City. The city continues to work towards improvements to make the Burlington Corridor a more green, welcoming, and complete street. Planned improvements will bring improved bicycle, pedestrian, and transit facilities to this major gateway into North Kansas City. Total investment for this project over 4 years will be $24 million. This is currently in property acquisition, and we hope to be moving forward very, very soon. I don't think legal counsel has a slide tonight, but I believe it's moving forward very, very soon. All right, we got some new faces around City Hall. In the last year, we welcomed Mike Nichols as our new city administrator, and Shu Wood as our new community development director. And so with that, that is the end of my presentation. We'll open up for questions at the very end, but for now, I'll hand it over to Shu Wood to update you on all the great things happening in community development. Thank you. So I go ahead and flip you next there.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time here today. And for those who are watching on YouTube channel, my name is Shu Wood. I'm the Community Development Director. I've been with the city for almost a year. Next Tuesday, at the council meeting, you're welcome to say, congratulations, Shu, on your first anniversary. But I'm very excited to share that I really enjoyed working in North Kansas City with all the citizens as well as all the elected officials. The staff here is awesome. And we're working diligently to really help you out to figure out what we want for our community. So as I mentioned earlier, we're really trying to figure out what the community wants. So a big component of what community development does is we have to figure out our future and shape our future through adopted plans. So along with adopted plans, we will issue permits that will guide the construction and the development for the future. Then we also enforce code compliance, make sure that the building and the use is conforming with the code. So these are the three major functions community development operates. As I mentioned for the adopted plans, there are a couple really important plans and I would like you to be aware. The first one is our 2016 adopted NKC master plan. You might wonder what is a master plan, what it covers. It generally provides a large vision that is being stated by the community. And along with the master plan, we have a bicycle master plan. This is a very unique piece in North Kansas City, given the feature and the wish from the community. We're working diligently to implement this plan. So the vision has stated out in the North Kansas City master plan is that the North Kansas City is to support existing places and create unique and sustainable activities centers with enhanced character that can be branded to grow economic development and support the community. So I know it is a little confusing on what this vision is about. It is a lot of big words, but really what we wanted to do through community development is we want to boost the economy. However, the economy, the reason we wanted to boost it is because we want to support our current community. We don't want to lose the characters. And how do we do that? Through supporting existing places and activity centers that we currently have. So there are a few big plans the mayor has already mentioned. I would like to expand it on a couple of them. The first one is the Burlington Corridor. I know it has been a long project that's been planned out for a while now, since 2016. The city has planned $24 million on this project, and we've been awarded $80 million on federal grant. And for this particular project, we're going to construct it in 3 different phases. Phase 1 is for the east side of Burlington. It will include a water main replacement along with the bicycle track, along with a bike rack. However, the second phase and the third phase, currently we have not completed the engineering design yet, which will come down in the future years. Like the mayor mentioned, we're currently under the property acquisition process, and we're anticipating this project to break ground at the end of this year or early next year. We are working with MoDOT in cooperating with them on the timeline because of the construction of Buck O'Neill Bridge. So the next big project is the Armour Road Complete Street. The mayor has mentioned this is about a $1.5 million investment on our Armour Road, specifically for our downtown area. And this project is working toward a complete street concept, which will allow multimodal transportation, including pedestrians, cyclists, and runners, as well as motorized vehicles. This project is nearly finished at this point. You might see a lot of bright and colorful markings on Armour Road. And if you have questions about any of those, please let us know. We're currently working on marking out the bike lanes and bike boxes, as well as installing all the street furniture, including the traffic lights and bike traffic lights. So here is another project we just recently completed. It's called the East-West Connection Study. This is a particular shared use path, approximately 10 feet, one on each side of Armour Road, that is going to connect the west and east side of the neighborhood that has traditionally been divided by the I-29/35 interstate highway. There are a lot of safety concerns by the resident, so this particular project, besides of improving the connection, it will also improving the lighting and safety. Staff is seeking for federal money for construction on this particular project, so you'll probably see this project coming down in the future years. So the next component, I would like to bring up a few plans that we're currently working on and we're very excited about. The first one is a shared use path. We're looking to connect our existing Diamond Parkway, which is the major road that connect all the One North development, to our 14th Avenue, which will be where the future Rabbit Hole is located at. So as you can see on this particular study, there are two alternatives that has been planned out. Both of them are located on the east side of the highway, 35 and 29. The reason for locating these two alternatives on the east is because we're trying to avoid the cyclists and the pedestrian traffic to continue along 16th Avenue, because that's a dedicated truck route. So for safety reasons, this is what we approached. This particular study is currently at the very end of this cycle. We're going to have this final report being wrapped up and reported to City Council sometime in June. So stay tuned. The next few plans that will come up very soon this year and expanded all the way to 2024 are two PSP projects. So PSP stands for Planning Sustainable Places. This is a very great project that trying to engage community and work largely with the community to gathering input on what the community wants for particular lines and the layout and the alignments of those non-motorized connections. The first one we're looking at is a cooperative work that we have signed up with Kansas City, Missouri, and Riverside that potentially will connect Riverside and Kansas City and North Kansas City through a shared use pathway. We don't know exactly how wide this would be, where this is going to align, but we would like to hear more from you all when we start the engagement with the community. The next PSP project, like I mentioned earlier, we're really focusing on community engagement. That is for a riverfront trail located somewhere along the levee. This has been a long time discussion with the levee district, so we will bring the levee district up to our speed and then discuss with them for any potential feasibility for a recreational trail that's located along the riverfront levee. The next component I would like to mention is the permits part. As I mentioned earlier, this is a big component of a community development. we issue permits based off the construction documents. Back in 2022, I would like to share some exciting news here based off this data we've gathered. We have a total of 275 permits being issued in the last year, and with a total value of $125 million. And here's a fun fact. For 2021, the year before that, we have a total number of 300 permits being issued with a total value of $92 million. So then you see the trend is the number of permits is going down, but the value, total value is going up quite a bit, which meaning we're getting more higher quality development through the private side. So there are a few projects the mayor has mentioned. Now I will not spend too much time on it. We have this Oxbow development that we started to creating new residents in since the mid-February. This particular project is a mixed-use project. It will have a commercial component anchoring this ground floor, which currently is still vacant. The next private development that we will greet a lot of residents is the 23rd and Swift project. This project is currently under construction, so we did receive some complaints about this particular construction site. If you have concerns, please let community development know. Like I mentioned, we have a code compliance department as well, so we will enforce our code violation issues and correct those violations as well. The next big residential development is the One North. That is also known as the Mill House development. It is located at the One North redevelopment area. It will provide 275 units. It is currently under construction as well. So after all those components, you have a sense of what community development does. We make plans, we operate plans, we issue building permits, we help construction from the private side, going from conceiving the conceptual design all the way to construction documents and then to code enforcement. But here is a big component that a lot of people actually don't have much knowledge of, which is the zoning component. So North Kansas City has adopted its first zoning back in 2002, and we have reframed our zoning through the workouts of our master plan back in 2016. So currently, there are two big components of zoning. We have a zoning map and go hand in hand with our zoning text. So this is what a zoning map looks like. The yellow color generally states for residential, and whereas there are other classification in different color shades. And if you're interested in learning what does zoning do, generally it does two things. It tells you what is the use that's allowed in each zoning district, and it regulates the lot and building standards. Of course, there are more components related to it, such as parking ratio requirement, landscape requirement. If you're interested in that, contact us, and we would like to provide you some education piece. So, as Mayor mentioned, community development also offers some other projects, such as the brochures and guidance for our residents. How do you maintain your property? How do you file an annual inspection for rental properties? How do you apply for a minor repair program? If you have any questions, let us know. Thank you. Now I would like to hand the conversation to our Public Works Director.
Good evening. As Shu said, my name is Anthony Sands. I'm the Director of Public Works for the City of North Kansas City. I'm really bad about staying close to the microphone, so let me know if you can't hear me. The Public Works Department is made up of 31 individuals that are responsible for overseeing quite a wide variety of activities and services in the City of North Kansas City. Under the Public Works umbrella, you'll find everything from the drinking water treatment plant to the distribution system of that water, sanitary sewers, storm sewers, roadways, sidewalk maintenance. The urban tree canopy program is under our supervision, and many other systems that keep the city functioning. These services are carried out by 3 divisions inside Public Works, the Water Services Division, the Municipal Services Division, and then the City Engineering and Administration Division. The Water Service Division, maintains over 42 miles of storm sewers. The city has 6 large stormwater pumping stations surrounding the levee perimeter, and 3 sanitary sewer pumping stations that, as the city's built inside a bowl, everything we have as water needs to be pumped up and out of the city. There's also 37 miles of wastewater, industrial sanitary sewers, and 38 miles of water distribution mains. Skip that, there we go. They're routinely, cleaning, maintaining, and supervising these systems and responding to the occasional water main break. This slide here shows one of the large ones we had last year. There's no such thing as a good water main break, I'd say, but this was a very interesting one that we uncovered 100-year-old urban streetcar tracks that were actually under Burlington Street, Highway 9, when we got down to it. Not the best thing to find at 3 a.m., but still a really interesting discovery. The municipal services side is over street and sidewalk maintenance. They're routinely, I keep mispronouncing that, providing intermediate maintenance for over 62 miles of roadways in the city, filling potholes, repairing curbs, sidewalks, permitting utility construction, and caring for signage and just all general traffic maintenance. These are also the crews that you'll see clearing snow, clearing leaves in the fall. We have our annual leaf clearing program where residents can rake leaves to the side of the street, and we'll come around and vacuum them up. Snow removal, and then street sweeping. This right here is our newest addition to our street sweeping fleet. The mini street sweepers designed to get into small areas, bike lanes, cycle tracks, and can even get up onto sidewalks and help us maintain a lot of hard-to-reach areas. This division also provides a lot of maintenance to the street trees, regular ongoing pruning of close to 3,000 trees in the city that are along the street right-of-way and inside the parks of the city. Our engineering and project management staff oversees a couple large-scale, ongoing, recurring programs. One of those things is the tree program, where we plant new trees in the right-of-way, where you replace trees that have been removed. And then there's a lot of different diseases that affect trees. We have Dutch elm's disease. We have the emerald ash borer is a big thing right now, and so there's an ongoing recycling of trees, having things removed and new trees put in. This program historically was funded with a $30,000 budget, and just last year, council increased that to $100,000. So we are able to do exponentially more trees this year and for years coming. The sidewalk program is also another ongoing maintenance program. Again, this year it was our first year with an increased budget. We had $280,000 previously in the budget, and $430,000 increased this year by council's action. So that program handles a lot of sidewalks and drainage basins. They tend to go hand in hand. When you're doing sidewalk repairs, 9 times out of 10, you have to move a curb inlet or a storm drain box of some kind to get that sidewalk to work correctly. So those two elements are kind of tied together. Oh, that was the slide for the tree maintenance. Sorry, I messed that up. Capital project management is also a large component that Public Works does. This year, as Shu and the mayor mentioned, there were quite a few capital improvements all around the city, pretty large scale. The Public Works Department facilitates working with the contractor and making sure the project tries to stay on schedule. This last year, we saw the Armour Road Complete Streets project, which will be wrapping up here this spring, and then the Downtown Streetscape project that finished December of last year. Together, those two combined are close to $6 million worth of improvements along Armour Road. That combined with the ADA sidewalk improvement program, basically after the summer, I will say, the Armour Road will be ADA compliant from Burlington all the way down to 1 North. By far our largest capital project going on right now is our $15 million renovation to the water treatment plant. This facility is pretty amazing. It's 110 years old. It's been in service for working for the city for a very long time. Its last renovation that was very major was in the 1980s, and since then it's been kind of going along with the technology they had at the time. This project kind of came out of a need to modernize and a need to control contaminants in our wells. And again, we partnered with Burns & McDonnell Engineering Company, and we're able to bring this to a close here probably in the summer. They're finishing the last components of it. And again, a $15 million renovation to a very important piece of our infrastructure. Looking forward, we're going to be doing some master planning. We've already started the stormwater master plan. Well, I should back up. We have really 3 large infrastructure systems in our city: stormwater, wastewater, which is sanitary sewers, and then water distribution, which is distributing water from the treatment plant. These systems are very old. Like I said, you find a water main break that's under 100-year-old tracks that have never been removed. You can kind of guess how old the water main is. So these systems have been in service a long time and really need a good study going forward to determine the future of how we're going to manage these things. The stormwater management plan is going on right now. Olson & Associates has been our engineer on that study. The wastewater master plan is advertised right now. We're expecting advertisements to close at the end of this month, and then shortly to follow will be the water distribution plan. Again, looking at these systems that are very old but still working very well, but again, need a good plan for the future. That's my update for Public Works. Thank you all again for the time, and I'd like to introduce Victoria Ressler for Parks and Rec.
Good evening. I'm Victoria Ressler, Director of Parks and Recreation. So over the past year, we completed several projects, probably the biggest one being our Diamond One renovation. This was a shared project between the city, the Park Board, and the North Kansas City School District. We were fortunate to get it open and playable just in time for the girls' first home game, and the boys actually have their first home opener this coming Monday. We also completed the tennis court lighting. We converted the old ballast system over to sports LED lighting, and the Will Park got a resurfacing. So that project will actually wrap up this spring. Once it warms up, then we'll be putting a top coat over it. Parks and Rec is also home to the Snake Saturday Lads and Lassies contest, and this year Worlds of Fun was one of our sponsors, so Snoopy got to come hang out and dance around with the kids. Friday night concerts are coming back. Those are the second Friday of the month, May through September. Our first one is the Goddesses of Rock on May 12th. And then we'll also have 3 movies in the park, and those will be on Friday nights as well. The first one is Turning Red, and this all happens at the festival shelter. Friday in the Park will be returning, celebrating its 45th year. This Northtown tradition runs June through September. It's Fridays at the festival shelter, and it features local entertainment and musicians. We have 6 outdoor shelters that are available to rent, and we also have one at Dagg Park. And Dagg Park will spring back to life over Memorial Day weekend. Wagon Trail Dog Park, our first event is on Saturday, April 8th. This is Bonanza. It's a dog Easter egg hunt. There's no need to register, but at the gate we accept monetary and pet supplies, and then that in turn is given to the animal shelter. Inside the facility, we have all kinds of space that we can rent to you for any of your life events. We also have activities for all ages. Right now we're doing our summer, our youth co-ed softball baseball league registration. We have enrichment classes at Parks and Rec for youth and adults. These include arts, wellness, cooking classes. We have a robust homeschool program that we do there, and sports as well. And we have encore activities for active older adults that also include cooking classes, art classes, social gatherings like bingo and bunko. They do day trips, movies. We even have a cardio drumming class going on now. So this is my most exciting part. So we have 3 exciting things happening. Arts in the Park is back for its 7th year. We feature over 50 different artists throughout the Midwest. There's a beer garden, food trucks, live entertainment all day, and this year we're also having a kids activity area throughout the whole festival. But the 2 that I'm really excited about that are new, the first one is our men's senior baseball league is attempting for the Guinness World Record for the longest baseball game of 100 hours. And they've also set a goal for themselves of raising $300,000 for charity. So that is actually going to be kind of over the Memorial Day weekend. So it starts on August 31st. They wrap up on September 4th. We're going to have all kinds of festivities going out there, promotions. So we really want to engage the whole community to come out and be a part of getting the record. The second event is Briarfest Levy Days, which is a 2-day music festival, which is that following weekend. So Friday night it kicks off at 4 o'clock, and we're doing an education appreciation. So come show us your school ID and have your first drink on us. And then Saturday, we're going to have a beer forest, an art and wine oasis, and if the weather's permitting, we'll also have tandem hot air balloon rides. And if you happen to miss or just haven't had a chance to look over the postcard that you probably received in the mail last week or the beginning of this week, the Parks Department has put out Proposition P, and this will be on the April 4th ballot. We are asking for a 1/4 of a penny park sales tax. So if you've ever seen Mackin Park on a nice day or Dag Park on a hot summer day, you can see that it is also heavily enjoyed by non-residents. So this would, and then those non-residents, they go to and from different businesses all over town. So this would help ensure that non-residents also help pay for all those park system improvements and upkeep. So to the consumer, it's an additional 25 cents a quarter per $100 that you spend. But to the Parks Department, it means that we can make improvements, we can maintain proactively, and then we can also plan for the future. So this topic is actually going to be part of the work session next Tuesday night before the City Council meeting at 6 o'clock. So if you have any questions or concerns, you can come there or you can reach out to me directly. Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Sergeant Hubble with the Police Department.
Good evening. I'm Sergeant Ryan Hubble with North Kansas City Police Department. I'm speaking on behalf of Chief Kevin Freeman tonight, who could not be with us. A little bit about our police department. We are approximately 41 officers sworn at this current time. We also have several civilians, including our dispatch unit, our animal control unit, our parking control, as well as we just added a civilian investigator this year to help out with the detectives. There we go. These are our new hires for the year. Officer Dylan Ryerson, Officer Mark Rivera, Officer Daniel Marichek, Officer Cale Swing, who is actually a rehire. He left to pursue some other opportunities and decided to come back to us. Animal Control, Officer Blundell, Dispatcher Williams, who came to us from Grandview Police Department. We added a new canine this year, Canine Bark. He is a Dutch Shepherd. He is 2 years old now, and he is a dual-purpose narcotics and patrol dog. And then Officer Spencer, who came to us from Riverside PD. This is Officer Schenk. He's also fairly new to our department, but he was our parking control officer for a period of time, and then he decided to join us as a police officer. We sponsored him to go through the academy, and he completed his field training officer program this year and became an officer. Some of our training this year, so every year POST, which is the Peace Officer Standards and Training Program through Missouri, they require each sworn officer to complete 24 hours of continuing education hours. This breaks down into 2 hours in legal studies, 2 hours in technical studies, 2 hours in interpersonal perspectives, 2 hours of skill development in firearms, 16 hours of electives, which could be a combination of the above courses, and that's within that 24 hours of period. Officers must receive the following: 1 hour of racial profiling training, 1 hour of implicit bias training, and 1 hour of de-escalation training. The total post hours year to date for last year was 1,608 hours, and that's total for the department. These are our Group A crimes. This is a 3-year comparison, so we're looking at 2020, 21, and 22 prospectively. You can see majority of the crime is down. However, our assaults were up. Larceny, theft was also up, and that's a combination of all the combined larcenies, which would be auto, shoplifting, etc. Auto theft was actually down, and our narcotics violations were up. However, depending on how you look at that, that just means that our officers made more arrests for narcotics than they did the previous year. It could be based off of officer contacts, not necessarily that there's a spike in drug usage. This next slide, we're looking at crimes of theft, and this kind of breaks it down more. As you can see, the spike in the thefts on the prior slide. If you go by month, you see, for instance, June has a higher spike in motor vehicle parts and accessories. A lot of those could be catalytic converter thefts, that type of thing. Also, thefts of anything from a vehicle is actually from motor vehicle if you look at that. So those are two completely unrelated. That would be more if somebody leaves their car door unlocked and occasionally somebody will go through it and take something. That would fall under a theft from motor vehicle, where the theft of motor vehicle parts and accessories may be a license plate or a catalytic converter, things of that nature. Just some crime tips. You know, we always ask that people keep their doors locked on their vehicles and their homes when they're away from them. You know, make sure that you have well-lit areas around your residence. You know, if you can't afford to install some sort of surveillance video, that always helps. If a crime does occur, it helps us track down people. So. This slide pertains to our traffic unit. If you look, we had 83 injury crashes last year, totaling 111 people injured. We had 93 hit and runs, 9 alcohol-related accidents, and 36 driving while intoxicated / driving under the influence cases. Something about our hit and run, we do have our own traffic officers working those hit and run investigations, and they are doing an excellent job. In fact, one of our officers has cleared 77% of his caseload right now. If you look at our state highway crashes, on I-35 we had 78 crashes, on 210, 59, on Missouri 269, which is Shoto Traffic Way, we had 7, Missouri 1, which is Vernon Street, there were only 2, and on Highway 9, which is Burlington, we had 28. City streets, total crashes amounted to 243, and on private property, 65. And we are one of the few agencies that will still take accidents on private property, even if there's not an injury or a significant amount of damage. For recovered stolen autos this year, we did recover 132 stolen autos, most with the assistance of our license plate reader, which is our LPR program. We have 2 types of license plate readers. One is a mobile license plate reader, which is affixed to our patrol cars. As those officers drive around, it reads license plates, and it runs them through the computer automatically, and if we get an alert to a stolen auto or a warrant or something of that nature, it alerts the officer in the car. He can conduct a traffic stop. The fixed license plate readers are set up throughout the city, and they scan all traffic as it moves through the city. And again, if something comes through, it alerts the license plate reader, it alerts the officers in the car who are logged into that system, and we can track that vehicle and try to get a stop on it. We also added a COPS Impact Squad, which I am actually the sergeant over. COPS is community-oriented policing and problem solving. Right now we have actually an additional officer in this unit. So Officer Kat DeShepper is our COPS officer. She handles the majority of our business and housing-related issues. She's a person to talk to if you need like an active shooter course or something along those lines at your business. She also handles all the rental property and crime-free housing. Officer Scott Haney is actually standing in the back with Officer Justin Ojeda. They're my impact unit guys. They actually go out and they will focus on problem areas that may be an area we're having a lot of issues in with narcotics or stolen cars or that type of thing. They focus their efforts in those areas until we can resolve those issues. Officer Quentin Young is also one of my impact officers. He works more during the daytime along with Officer Dylan Ryerson, who's not pictured here. All right, and that's all I have. I'll turn it over to the fire department.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Dave Hargis. I'm the Fire Chief at North Kansas City Fire Department, and thanks for being here with us tonight. Our department was established as a career department in 1924. We currently have 62 members. We have 19 paramedics, 43 EMTs, and we have 2 members in paramedic school. If you've seen in the news lately, the paramedic programs are one of the shortages in the country. We've been fortunate enough that the city's allowed us to pay for the education of the paramedics. They agree to stay with us for a certain number of years, and it's as more and more people go through it, it just keeps growing. So it's been really good for us. We have some new recruits. Patrick Bradley, he will be finishing out his first year with us this month. Firefighter Nathan Snap, firefighter Eric Chambers, and firefighter Lotu Ahamana, who is new enough we don't have a picture of him up here yet. We had 3 promotions in the last year, and those were firefighters to firefighter paramedic positions. All 3 of those went through our program. Like I said, we have 2 more getting ready to graduate now, and then Eric Chambers and Lotu are both signed up to start school in July, so they'll be finishing up in about 18 months from that. So we're very proud of those guys that are going through that program to help us be able to man the ambulances the way we do. We had 1 retirement in the last year. Firefighter paramedic Rich Bath retired after 17 years of service to the city. We're committed to providing the highest level of service to the citizens and businesses of the community, and we do that by we're constantly training. Last year, overall, the department had 14,374 hours of total training. Those are company training, where we're doing leadership training with our captains and the battalion chiefs. The other training is just regular firefighter training. They're pulling hoses. You've probably seen them in your neighborhoods, hooking to a hydrant, squirting some water. If you drive by the station, they're out there with the ladder up. We do hazardous materials training. It's important with our area. We have a major highway that runs through that has tractor trailers carrying hazardous materials on a daily basis, and we have 2 rail hubs that kind of sandwich us in here. So we concentrate a lot on the hazardous materials training for that. Our response activities, as you can see, we had 2,642 responses last year. We transported almost 2,000 patients. So that's 78 to 80% of our workload now is EMS. That's why it's so important that we have that paramedic program. And as our city grows, our call volume grows. If you can see, in 2022, we had a 6.3 increase. And since 2010, we've had over 50% increase in our call volume to the city. So that's why it's important we do that training. As you can see, we had 2,000 EMS and rescue, 67 fires. So those, and the good service calls, those are somebody calls, they smell gas. Something's going on, their CO detector's going off in their house. Those are those calls. So we also do fire prevention activities, public outreach, and community involvement. All those new things that Shu and talked about and the mayor that's going up, we go to those before they're erected, walk through them, and as the construction process is going on, our guys are going through there looking at that, so if we have fires or emergencies in there later, they're familiar with the buildings. All of our businesses and the construction companies have been really good working with us to allow us that prior access and constant access. We also were part of the community education. I think that's actually the mayor there playing with our Hearst tools. So, and there's some other people in this room that graduated from that as well. We had a lot of fun. We have school groups come over. We participate with the high school for career development, trying to get people interested in our field. We continue, this is some of the pictures from having the groups there. A big push this year, based on what happened in the NFL, we've done over 75 CPR classes for people in the community, citizens, local businesses, and other department employees, so that we're getting those people certified in CPR. Looking toward the future, we're going to mark our 100th anniversary in 2024. We've got several special events planned that will be coming out in the newsletter and on the website about what those will be, but we're kind of going to be celebrating that 100 years this year. We're continuing to use technology to help our effectiveness with doing our jobs and working with the community, the businesses, and the citizens for what they need. If you need smoke detectors, call us, we'll come put it in. Those are the types of things that we're gonna continue to focus on. So, that's it. And at this point, I will turn it back over to the esteemed mayor.
All right, appreciate staff coming out tonight and giving us all those very informative updates. As you heard, we have a lot of exciting things happening and a lot of exciting things on the way, and I'm tapping this thing again, and everyone can hear that. I could see the look from Stephen back there. All right, so I'm going to lead into question. Were there any in-person questions here? Not that I can see anyways. There we go. Yes.
In the last week or two, we've heard something about a ballpark in North Kansas City. You want to comment on it?
No, not really. No. Everybody wants to comment on this one. No, so the Royals, like any organization, we got a call from someone interested in potentially partnering with them to develop something here in North Kansas City. And like I said, with any organization that would call, we responded and are working with all the entities involved to see if that would be a good fit down here. So yes, there's ongoing conversations regarding that. Was there a follow-up? Did I answer that enough? Sorry. I'm being fairly vague there, but if the question is, have those conversations happen, the answer is yes. There we go. And that's about all the excitement I have on that for now. There's really not much more. There's been no ask. There's been no other really conversations beyond could you be interested in this? So that's where that ends there. Okay. Any other in person? All right. I had one online related to decorum. So I'll just briefly touch on that and, say there's always room for us to improve our processes and the way we do everything. And one thing we'll be looking at coming up is exploring our current rules of order and looking at new rules of order as well for council. So that'll be after the April elections. When new council sits, we will consider various new rules. Was that a question? I'm just hearing Zach Clevenger. Okay, thank you. No, any other questions? Any other questions? All right, with that, I had a couple things here. We will be having a candidate forum upcoming on, Kim, correct me if I get this wrong, March 30th from 6 to 7 p.m. at the City Hall at the council chambers. Right? Okay, so the first year we're doing this, we are partnering with the North Kansas City speech and debate students to help facilitate that. And all candidates running for all offices have been invited to participate. And I believe we have most of them so far. Yeah, so most have agreed to come do that. In addition to that is the election. So don't forget to vote on, again, if I'm wrong, I believe April 4th. I did this whole thing, didn't have a closing. I was writing my closing, I was sitting in back there. April 4th, should have an election, so every ward will have a council member up and also come out and support Proposition P as well. So that'll be on the ballot. Overall, hosting this event, it's been an honor, and I know I'm shaking the thing and touching it there. I'm just going to plant. No, it's an honor to host this again. It's something that came up. We do one for the Clay County EDC. We do one for the North Kansas City Business Council, and I really want to do one for the residents as well. So I hope this is informative, and we will, of course, continue to evaluate how we host this and how we do this. To make sure we're really optimizing kind of everybody's time and giving them what they want to hear. So thank you everyone for attending, and I have to thank our staff, all of you, from our public works to all of our public safety to everyone in administration, Stephen in IT, everybody here, thank you in community development. They are all the ones that keep this city running 24/7 and do a fantastic job at doing it. So thank them sometime, and thank you all for being so fantastic and keeping our city such an awesome place to be. If you ever have an issue or problem, make sure you reach out to me or the city, and we try to be quick to resolve issues and always ready to tackle new challenges. So with that, thank you and have a good evening. Okay.